So this small video is about my current build, Archmage Ball Lightning in a trade league, softcore ultimatum 3.14. So I'll go through the tree, the gear and my choices and what's left to upgrade. So yeah, small disclaimer, build is far from finished. It's not, I think, the final version. For example, I'm currently non-crit and I plan to go crit at some point in the future. So yeah, let's look first at the tree. So a few things to note. I'm using pure talent, which give bonuses based on the starting location you connect to, and I'm currently connected to Cyan for the 25 to all attributes. I'm just 2 points from it, and well, the 2 points are not totally useless since we use uh, since we are taking resistances, which is a good thing because as you'll see, the builds use a lot of unique items, so it's quite hard to capture resist. So yeah, pure talent, 25 all attributes with the science start. Templar is connected to, since I'm a Templar, so 5% penetration, and Witch is connected to, and it gives us 0.05 mana regeneration, which is very good for the build because, well, regeneration is what keeps us alive. So next, what to see? We are taking mana clusters, obviously. Dynamo cluster, very useful because of the 20% of mana recovered when you use a guard skill, and you use Archon Clock on your left click, so you are almost always using it. Then this note for the dexterity and cast speed, because cast speed is very important too for the build, because when you are casting Ball Lightning with Spell Echo and Greater Spell Echo, you are locked in place during the animation, and it can be quite long, especially if you don't have a lot of cast speed. So yeah, cast speed useful. Then block cast speed, life, area damage, obviously, Arcane Surge effect, life. Well, nothing very interesting to see. Your Natural Instinct there, it's quite expensive, but it gives us a lot of bonuses, so yeah, it's totally worth it. Clear Mind, because I'm not using Clarity at the moment, just Wrath on Essence Worm, so yeah, Clear Mind is very good. And this Cluster Jewel, which gives us two useful things, Disorientating Display, which blinds enemies, and it's very good defense layer, especially in Ultimatum, and Scintillating ID, 20 max mana and damage penetration. So then about the gear. So the gear. First thing, Nexus glove. The base Nexus glove for glove, because well, it can be a bit counterintuitive because you are giving away 30% max mana, reduced max mana, but the 30% to gain the life cost of skill when you use a skill is very good because it allows you to spam a lot more your skill. So yeah, all in all, very good. So life, mana, resistances, and dexterity, which the build is lacking quite a bit too. Um, Ring is a cursed on hit, conductivity with life and mana regen. So yeah, conductivity on it, very useful. Clock of Defiance, obviously. I have a double corrupted one, but normal one is quite enough, and you don't even need to six link it. It's a luxury thing. You can do it a lot later in your build. Then the belt. I paid a lot for this one because it has high life, high mana, mana recovery rate, and resistances. What's really important here is the mana recovery rate. Mana recovery rate is basically a more modifier to your mana regeneration, so it helps a lot the build. Skyforce, I'm not sure it's the final boots because I think at this point I have enough EHP to not be stun lock during Ultimatum especially, so maybe rare boots are better now. What you want from Skyforce is the flat mana and the stun threshold. The downside is that you have no life regeneration, and you have a bit of base life regeneration without it. And you are using consecrated ground, so yeah, consecrated ground is a lot of life regen that you're losing if you're using Skyforce. Essence Worm, because you don't want your mana reserved and you want Wrath for the non-crit version at least. Adziris Foible, I don't think there is a. It's the best in slot basically. I'm currently annotating Mind Drinker because I like the mana recovered on kill. Even with Tinder Swallow, I think having a very high mana recovered on kill is very good. The other option is Whisper of Doom, which gives you an additional curse and enable Sniper's Mark. That's currently not used there. It's more multiplier. It's a lot more damage for single target, but you lose the recovery for the clear. And I don't I have the use at the moment of more damage for bosses. Helmet is basically life, mana, and the highest resistances that you can find. It's a good slot to help cap your resistances. And last, the Pledge of Hands, obviously, which is a core item for the single target of the build. And alternatively, the Sire of Charge, which gives you which gives you our AoE clear. As you can see, it's very good for the clear speed. Last, the gems. So, first, Flame Dash, Sigil of Power, and Second Wind. Movement skill and Sigil of Power is a very nice defensive buff, especially in Ultimatum, since it covers a huge AoE. And the Portal, well, use a utility skill. Arcanist Brand with Wave of Conviction to trigger the exposure. Blade Blast to trigger the Unnerve. Unnerve gives the mob 10% increased spell damage, which is basically a 10% more multiplier. And Sniper's Mark, which is not currently used. Then, very important, Divergent Arcane Clock, which gives you the Divergent version, gives you increased buff effect. So increased buff effect means that all the damage bonus you get from Arcane Clock are increased by the buff effect. And we link it to the NN support, which gives you more quality. So 20% increased buff effect, 20% increased damage bonus it gives you. Anomalous Arcane Surge, you want the Anomalous version because it gives you a bit more mana regeneration, as you can see, 0.02. And Righteous Fire, there is an alternate quality which is better, because the alternate quality gives you increased spell damage, and it's further enhanced by your enhance support. So at some point I'll switch to this version. Then there is Increased Duration, which buff Val RF and Arcane Clock, and at some point I'll stock at level 4 on Power to further boost all the active skills. Then we have here Castman Damage setup with Increased Duration. Void Sphere, which is very good in Ultimatum because it pulls all the monsters far from you and make you a nice little package that you can blast them. And the Cold Snap, which generates frenzy charges while you clear. While clearing, I'm always almost at max frenzy charges. And frenzy charges are especially good for us because it gives us more cast speed, and cast speed is very good for Ball Lightning. Finally, the main damage skill, so Divergent Ball Lightning. I just bought it, so it's just level 16 for now, but it will obviously will be level 20 at some point. Archmage, Throw Approach, Spell Echo, Lightning Penetration, and Control Destruction. Of course, you can upgrade all these gems to the Awakened version, and you'll gain quite a bit of damage. But it's quite expensive, especially the Spell Echo. And for the clear, slightly different configuration: Ball Lightning, Archmage, and Pinpoint. All the other gems are the same than the single target one. Pinpoint increase the number of balls that you're throwing and raise the area of effect of the gem. So very good. plan to finish the Flask. So the Flask, it's maybe the least optimized thing in the build, in my version of the build at the moment, because well, as there is promised, okay, Flask, damage, leech, quite good. Basal of warding, so yeah, you need the warding affix, because the curse are a problem for the build, obviously. You don't have any curse immunity. Cinder Swallow is the final Flask I'll use. Maybe I'll roll it better for the mana and life on kill. If you plan to just do bosses, I don't think it's useful, but it's very good for the clear. And the Sulfur of Staunching, well, if you have a Corrupted Jewel immunity, you can, I think, drop the Corrupted Blood immunity on the Flask, because the bleed in itself is not a lot of damage taken. So yeah, I think I'll replace this at some point. And the Alchemist Quicksilver of Adrenaline, obviously. Few things to note: you want your Arcane Cloak on your left click to trigger it automatically, and always have a high version of Arcane Surge. Arcanist Brand is, well, good for single target, but to be honest, I forget to use it a lot of the time, because, well, the single target damage is quite enough without it. You have Righteous Fire and Val Righteous Fire. I use it only on some bosses, because, well, it's a lot less regen for your mana, so you will die more often, and you don't really need the more damage for the clear. So yeah, just maybe use it for the bosses. And I think that's all.